What's up, mighty and powerful people? I want to show you today the system, the game, the macro environment that we are all in right now. And to do that, I guess we should start with paper money. All right? So, hold on, let me transfer to the pen. Paper money. Because, well, we all get it. Whether you have a job or not, you come across paper money, coins, the pound, the yen, the euro, whatever, right? The peso, all of it. We all have this financial system depending on our geolocation, right? And then from there, these are all moderated by their governing bodies. And this has been going on for hundreds of years, thousands. I mean, it's all the way back to gold, right? It's just been going on, as well as tax. So on the global level, on the macro level, there has been problems that are leading to a weakening financial system. This financial system has carried on for a long time because it could, and there was no other solution. But then technology evolved and the internet spurred some innovation in the fintech world, right? Fintech. And one of the first ones, I guess, was being able to process payments online, which led to, essentially PayPal, eBay, Amazon, ecom, right? Ecom. That further, the tech further evolved to where you can do drop shipping, affiliate marketing, creators, the creator economy, right? Where you can create services and products and courses and all sorts of stuff, right? And then so that led to Bitcoin, or variations of it, because Bitcoin wasn't the first, it was just the first one to be successful. And then from there, people started investing in Bitcoin to hedge against inflation. Right? I'm going to erase this. So, pause it if you need to. I don't think you would really have to, because we're just going on with where we're at. So, you got Bitcoin. And then other coins started to launch, like Doge, Litecoin, Xrp, XLM, and a few others at that time. We'll even go with BNB, right? Because this was a while ago. BNB came a few years after these coins, but you get the point. So you have the hedge against inflation, which really is, if you look at it, is a hedge against what would be the word? Because it is inflation, but it's so, like, you have the governing body, right, that controls inflation, and so I guess you could say it's a hedge against governance, right? Of them to do the right thing or the wrong thing, what doesn't matter, because you're hedging against that. And within that is inflation. And inflation is essentially the supply of monies, the M2 supply is increasing at a rate that, well, it just increases. It increases. The rate determines on if it's hyper inflation or not. But you have the consumer price index, which further helps regulate inflation. I don't really want to get into that right now. It's very, 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 very important to know and understand, because it is what controls inflation, even though they've tried to change the term for inflation to match what people are saying across social media with inflation leads to higher prices, when that isn't always the case. But that's what is being perceived, because it's mass conscious. So you have inflation, right? And Bitcoin hedges that. It doesn't really have any much more utility than that. That is just the utility, that it is a hedge against inflation. And so then you have Doge, which is just a meme coin, right? But really what it is just showing the technology that you can create multiple assets that hedge against inflation. And if you take this as a joke, then you're going to take this as a joke, and you're not going to invest in Bitcoin. So therefore you're not going to invest in Doge, and you're going to miss it. You're just going to miss out to inflation, right? This was years ago. No, so times have changed, but these still remain. It's just the landscape is evolving, as we will get into that, as that is my intention. So Doge is a very real asset. It just falls under the meme category. And with that, they have their own network. You can pass around Doge and trade it on the Doge network. But in order to do anything with it, you can trade back and forth with it on the Doge network. But to do anything with it, you have to go to an exchange, which is centralized, because you have to go somewhere. And the centralized exchanges connect all these up to that. Now, the centralized exchange is governed like a government, or like a nation, like a government. Yeah, I mean a government, right? It's governed by a team, by a business, and regulators. So regulators back to the nation that governs it, right? And so they get to pretty much take your assets if they want. At the end of the day, I mean, we've already seen it. There's news reported that I think it was Celsius or some exchange that had a bunch of Bitcoin. Because of the terms of service, they were literally able to seize the assets of every account holder there, right? And so you have all of these layer 1 assets, if you will. There's also layer 2 tokens, but let's just stick with the basics. Layer 1 on centralized exchanges. Now, the hedge to centralized exchanges is DeFi, because BTC is the hedge against inflation, so it hedges your money, right? Central exchange hedges your assets, essentially. It hedges accessibility, maybe that's the right I think I spelled that wrong, but it's right. It hedges accessibility, and then DeFi hedges your assets. Hedge again. I hope I'm right here, because I don't want to redo this video. I'm really just going down a thought process right here, because I mean, it is, right? So not your keys, not your crypto. That's this one right here. This is not your keys, not your crypto. Or not, well, I mean, not your keys, right? Not your crypto. And then this one is your keys, your crypto. Now, the thing about DeFi is that most of the networks don't really have much DeFi. So when you're pulling your assets off of an exchange, you don't really have much use case for them other than to hodl, right? So you hodl and you protect your keys until you're ready to go back to a centralized exchange and then cash out back into your bank, right? I think that's how the pesos look. So most people, at the very least, most people's assets are right here. Actually, I mean, most people, they're right here, right? Small percent they invest into crypto and they have their assets on a centralized exchange. After that, a smaller percentage goes into hodling their coins on a wallet like Decent. There's a link in the bio below to get a Decent wallet, because it's a good wallet to hold your assets in, and this is how people do it. And then from there, because they have their own wallet with their own keys and their own assets, they're able to operate on the DeFi protocols for the network, right? And therein lies massive opportunity, because at this point you want to hedge the network asset, the parent, right? That's the parent. Oh, I noticed that that's covering it, but that just says the network asset. This is the parent. I'm gonna erase that. So when you are on the network, right? So say you have Xrp, Algo, XLM, Hbar, Binance Smart Chain, XDC, Iota, Aide, Phantom, Matic, Casper. You know, the list goes on and on, right? When you have these layer 1 networks, you can only do what those networks can do. So you're bound, right? That's the frame. You're bound to that frame, right? And then so this frame becomes important for this asset, because if your, for instance, Xrp is just sitting in a Xumm wallet, right? Then your Xrp is sitting in a Xumm wallet. If you have one Xrp in your Xumm wallet, next year you'll have one Xrp, right? You're not doing anything other than sitting on your investment. You're waiting for price appreciation to appreciate, which is fine and dandy, but that is what it is. So most people, at the very least, going back to it, they go dollar to CEX, right? And then maybe they go into DeFi. Most people don't get it this far, but so it's like you got 99% is in the dollar. Let's go with 1% is in centralized exchange, and then, well, that's actually 1% right there too, but let's just say a percent of a percent goes into DeFi, right? And so these people are right here. They got 1 XRP in their wallet, and next year they're going to have 1 XRP in their wallet. But then you have a smaller percentage, let's just say 0.001%, right? It's more than that, but let's just say it for simplicity, right? Who hedge. They hedge, right? So they say, okay, I have 1 XRP right now, I'll have 1 XRP next year. Let me hedge my XRP on the Xrpl ledger with child assets and grow my value of XRP, right? So they grow or lose, but that's speculation. That's on them. That's many different things. But if they, this ultimately comes down to DYOR, do your own research, right? Do your own research is super important, and all we can really do is help you in showing you where to look to do your own research and the things to do. But this is so important, like for real, because you want to fact check, you want to make sure you're doing the right thing. All right, I can only tell you so much. Can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. It's just a metaphor saying I could show you, but I can't force you. And then even then, you have to make that decision on your own to do these things if that's for you. And if you're watching this channel, you're here. You're looking at ways to grow your XRP. I mean, why earn the dollar when you can earn more XRP if XRP is your goal, right? That's just a broad, very general way of thinking, right? Like if you want XRP and you don't want the dollar, right? I mean, money is important for sure, but if you're trying to get more XRP and you're making money to then convert it into XRP, then why not just use your XRP to get more XRP, right? Because it takes XRP to get XRP, right? Which is the same concept of it takes money to make money, right? It takes XRP to make XRP. That's right, baby. You heard it here first. I'm just playing, but it does take, it takes algo to get algo. It takes XLM to get XLM. It takes Hbar to get Hbar. Like it takes that. You need it. That's how you grow your bag. Other than going out and making paper money to then reinvest into the system, right? Into your frame, into your network, into your bag, into your DeFi. Because at a centralized exchange, no matter how much assets you have or how little you have, they can be taken, right? Not your keys, not your crypto. So if you have anything on a centralized exchange, you want to get into DeFi, whether that's just holding, right? If you just hold, that's far better than holding your dollars in a savings account or holding your assets in a centralized exchange. So if you only get to that part, boom, you're good, golden. But then after a while, you're gonna have a good amount right here. You're gonna still study the game, right? Study all these networks, study what XRP is doing, how the lawsuits playing out, just studying it, right? Consuming content, because that's what we do. That's how we learn. Then eventually, you're gonna come across opportunities to then hedge your XRP and grow. So a small mediocre example is last year in 2021 they had the token boom on the XRP ledger. So this is a direct example for XRP. All you needed to do was put up 2 XRP onto a trust line, and then you would get assets, right? Airdrops. And then you can let those assets appreciate and hodl, or you can sell them, right? So that goes straight back into DeFi. It goes right back into hedging your XRPL to grow, right? Nowhere does that have to do with centralized exchange. So you've already cut that out. You only need to go to the centralized exchange if you're doing certain things, and even then they have on and off ramps now on the DeFi, like on the decentralized networks. So it's becoming, centralized exchanges are becoming less and less of a thing that you need in order to make all of this work to get back to the dollar to pay your bill, or to buy a business, or to buy real estate, or a car, or whatever it is that you need to make, right? Let's go to yellow because I've drawn enough blue. So with your frame in mind, right? And only you know it, because everybody's frame is different. But this frame, like, even, at a macro level, because micro, your frame is your frame, but macro, the macro frame of the XRP is the XRP ledger frame, right? So like, if you don't know something in this frame, you have to learn. You have to come to YouTube channels like forOmni, channels like whatever, any channel on YouTube that helps you get that information or even just straight from the website of the next XRP, like xrpl.org, right? And you learn and you increase that frame to the point where you are comfortable with using your XRP to hedge on the XRP ledger and grow it. Because at the end of the day, you can invest in assets after doing your own research, right? You do your own research and you become confident in the assets that you're about to invest in. So it gives you that strength and endurance, because you've learned from centralized exchanges really about price fluctuations, and on the DeFi networks it just becomes a completely different animal. But by doing your own research, you can have that confidence that you're in a right position, in a good position to continue to hedge and to grow your bags, right? Over time, not right away, over time. But there are different strategies. So some of you might be trying to grow it right away and take profit right away, and that's a way, that helps the market move. So I appreciate people, all of you, that are actively learning and evolving with these times. All right, so now back to it. You have the parent assets, right? So this is a blanket state. This is just a blanket for XRP, Algo, XLM, Hbar, Binance Smart Chain, XDC, Iota, Cardano, Phantom, Matic, Casper, Core, all of them, right? Everything. Any layer 1 network right here that can create child assets. So like they have a token service. So then you have to find assets to hedge. So look, you've already done so much research right here, right? You did so much research just to come across these networks. Like, for real. Give yourself a pat on the back, because you found a whole asset class right here that you are confident in bringing into the future financial system, right? Which the future is now, so it's being built right before us, whether we're paying attention to it or not. And so that's there. Mega props. Especially if you got your assets, all of these parent assets, Hbar, Algo, XLM, Hbar, Binance, Smart Chain, XDC, Iota, these all have their own decentralized wallets. There's some wallets like Decent, there's a link in the bio, and you can use that to create most of the wallets on this wallet alone to cater to this. And it's a cold and hot storage wallet and software and hardware. It's a very good hybrid wallet to cater to your personal frame, your micro frame within the macro frame. And yeah, so you have your assets in there, for example, right? Or you have them on their own individual wallets, and then from there you're able to create the child assets, which is another asset on the network. So like if it's XRP, it's a XRPL token, right? You're able to add those assets. You actually have to use Xumm for XRP if you're trying to do that. You can store XRP on Decent, but if you're trying to create a child asset, you need to use Xumm. So, yeah, that's a XRPL token, right? That's supposed to be an X. And that allows you to hedge. You then use Sologenic, right, to trade if you're on the XRP ledger. I have tons of videos on this, so just look at my video content because I talk about Solo. Like my very first videos were about Xumm and Solo. They allow you to use your XRPL tokens and XRP to trade to grow your XRP bag, right? And so every network has these things. And in order to use their wallets and exchanges and liquidity pools and all that other stuff, you have to do the research to figure it out. And then on top of that, you have to figure out what asset to invest in. So usually the best way to do that is to reverse it, right? You do your own research on the assets, right? So you do your own research on the assets. You already know, like if this is your kind of framework right here, your parent framework, your ISO 200,022 tokens or assets, network coins, or your crypto, right? Then you know that you want to hedge those in your DeFi wallet, so you have to look for assets that fall on those networks, that work on those networks. And each network has its own set of features, its own standards, its own market of investors and utility, the purpose, the function of why those networks exist. And then so on top of that, people create other child assets to help that network and the ecosystem as a whole, as an entire collective, because it's all interoperating, right? Not yet, but it will be. And so a very solid example of this is Xoge, because you can find Xoge on all those networks. So once you find Xoge, you do your own research, you see that we know who the founder is. We see that it's pretty much not pretty much, it is for the people by the people. It's very decentralized. Then you're able to then focus on the network. But okay, I have Cardano. What wallet do I need to set up a Xoge wallet in my Cardano wallet and be able to hold Xoge and then add it to some liquidity pools to then earn Xoge and Cardano, right? How do you do that? And so if you're watching this video right now and you're trying to do that, you would get nope, not that one. It's Typhoon wallet, not Tangle. Tangle Pay would be Iota, and then you got to go into Shimmer. But do you see what I'm saying? Like just right there, like two completely different. It almost seems like a completely different language on a completely different network, when it's just very similar smart contracts, if you will, wrapped up in a different brand. And it's up to you to figure that out, because no one else is going to do that for you. All we can do is show you. And also, this is not on Decent, right? Tangle Pay is not on Decent. But Hbar, Binance Smart Chain, and XDC is on Decent. But then you got to use different wallets and stuff for like XLM, XRP, Algo. So that is why you got to find an asset that you can trust, at least just to start, like literally just to start. Because if you get an asset to start, right, and you use this asset to help you evolve, first of all, I don't think you would mistreat it, right? So what I mean by that is I don't think you would learn how to do everything with it and then just sell it to go for something else. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. I guess that's completely up to you, right? That's all part of stratagem and playing your game, right? But if you're long on it, you see value on it, and you saw how to grow it, why would you sell all of it if it's growing, right? Because if it's growing and multiplying, why would you get rid of it? right? And so long as we all keep coming through and working with it, then there will always be that value, right? And this asset is a very strong, very strong asset to work with in the asset class, right? Because the asset class is crypto. At the end of the day, crypto is the asset class. And you got layer ones, which is all those parents that we've been talking about this whole time, all right? And then you have these assets that come along called super assets. And those are the ones that are pretty much interoperable, can be found on all the networks that are involved with the future of finance, and coincidentally ISO 200,022 standards. So that means Xoge is also ISO 200,022. That allows you to further do your research and see the importance of all of these networks and how they play a part, and how Xoge is built on top of them. So then you could then see how the Xoge asset is represented on each network for their market, their investor market, their network utility and features and partnerships, which goes back into like the community investor market, and the governance behind it, and the governments that are working with it. And geez, it just builds and it scales. And this will allow you to then go off into other assets. And then so you could just grow. You could just, you compound, right? That's probably the right word for it, compound. Compound your bag, right? Let's see if I could draw a bag real quick. Yeah, your bag, right? Because you want to compound your bag. At the end of the day, you want to compound your bag. Don't kid yourself. Like, 1 XRP is 1 XRP, cool. 1 XRP, it might be worth 10K one day, cool. But how do you earn 1 XRP a day? Just imagine, if you earn 1 XRP today, imagine if you're earning 1 XRP for the rest of your life. By the time 1 XRP is 10K, you could be having, you could be earning 10K a day just because you know how to earn 1 XRP today, right? That thought process might be off a little, so think about it a lot. But I've thought about it a lot, and if the value of XRP is worth more tomorrow, why wouldn't we want to be earning an XRP today to then continue to earn XRP tomorrow, right? Like, most people are still trying to earn in the dollar. Most people are pricing their value of XRP or XLM in the dollar. XRP is worth 34 cents, whatever, blah, 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 right? Because I think actually today XRP is worth 34 cents. But you can get millions of Xoge for XRP today. And tomorrow, or weeks, months from now, it might not be as many millions of Xoge for 1 XRP. Or it might be less. But it goes back into XRP, or into XLM, or into Hedera, or Hbar, or into the Binance Smart Chain, or into XDC, because that's where Xoge is. It's backed by ISO 200,022. All those assets, right? That are then backed by the dollar and the pound and the euro and all that other stuff. So those aren't a scam. They're not going anywhere. The parents, they're the parent. These are the great grandfathers and mothers, right? A few hundred years from now. These are the forefathers that are making it. And so anything built on top of that has an increased chance, right? Yeah. I was going to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I don't think I need to. They're different. Those are like the founders of crypto space, right? then Doge, Bitcoin, Doge. But see, then you have companies like Flare and Songbird. Well, it's the same one, but the Flare is the test network that are working on interoperating them, the Turing assets, right? Turing. So, Bitcoin, Doge, XRP, XLM, right? But XRP has and XLM have the governance structure to build on top of it. So they are starting to have things now like NFTs, staking, soft staking, stuff like that. Things that operate in similar functions, possibly just a different name. It's all just code. And that is all just evolution. Biology. It's taxonomy, right? Taxonomic structures. This is part of the taxonomic structure. Bitcoin, we'll put Bitcoin and Ethereum in there now, right? Ethereum leads to the parents. This is like Adam and Eve, leads to the parents, and then the parents have kids, and then the kids have kids. So like, example for Xoge, right? Xoge has created, there's NFT creators now that have stemmed from Xoge, and there's NFTs, right? There's services, there's tools that you can use that have been created solely for, like, listen to me when I say this, solely for the Xoge community. These people didn't create them for anything else other than the Xoge community that is backed by and powered by the parent company. And so that's going to grow. So now you have like it goes from the grandparents to the parents to the kids to the kids' offspring, right? It's a beautiful thing. You can compound your bag. Think about this, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Think about all this long and hard. Let it consume you. Like, this is the game. This is it. At least for the next few years. And over time, you're going to see it more and more. So your options at this point is to do nothing, right? Do nothing. Get into a centralized exchange. There's gonna be a lot of options. I was gonna go for 3 options, but now I'm not gonna sugarcoat that shit. Look, you got do nothing. Invest into some assets into the centralized exchange. Go into DeFi and just hodl, right? Because you can hodl here or you can hodl here, but it just makes more sense to hodl here. Even if you don't do nothing and you're just holding on to your assets, put them into your DeFi wallets. It makes more sense. The terms and operating services, the TOS is not going to take your DeFi wallet. Now I can't speak for the governments. I don't know what the governments will do, but you're not going to lose from you're not going to lose your assets in a DeFi wallet compared to having them in a centralized exchange wallet, other than someone gets your keys, right? So having them in your DeFi wallet is good. And then from there, you can hedge, right? So you got the people that are hedging way over here at Bitcoin, right? They're hedging at Bitcoin. And then they're putting their assets into a risky position on a centralized exchange, or they go into the DEX and DeFi, right? All roads are leading back to Xoge. This is your options. Do nothing. Keep living the way that you do, using the money that you do. Have your money in savings, or put that into a centralized exchange and hold it, right? So you got 1. Let's see how many options there actually are. 2, and then 3. There is 3, right? So do nothing or invest and hodl. So it's like 2A, 2A, 2B, and then hedge. Boom. And then from there, It's finding what you're going to hedge, because right here you're not hedging inflation, right? You're not hedging inflation. You hedged inflation way over here, right? That's where you hedged inflation. So the second you come into crypto, you've hedged, right? Check, you've hedged. Well, not right here. So check right here, you've hedged. From here, it's grow, hedge and grow, compound, right? And then if you are making money, we lost the thing a few slides back, but if you do have money and it's coming in, right? Money in, then you can invest. And you already know what to do because you've already invested your time and effort in learning, in doing your own research, and using Xoge to help you do it. All right? Because you need an asset. You do need another asset. My apologies. You aren't able to earn more of the parent asset unless you have another asset, except for where they have staking services to where you can earn a stake, right? So like I know Flare, or I know Songbird did. I know Flare will, because it's based off of Songbird. I know like Hedera Hbar, you can stake your Hbar and earn Hbar just by holding Hbar. So that's a thing, right? In your DeFi wallet. That is definitely a thing. But for the most part, you need another asset. You need a parent-child relationship, because that's a pair, right? A pair equals parent-child. And that's how you get the price. You know, so right here, a parent is, they'll do USD XRP, right? Or BTC XRP, or ETH XRP, whatever. So in the sense of centralized exchanges, BTC and ETH are still very, they're a major pair. So there's that. They'll be around for a very long time. I never thought they wouldn't be, but yeah. So they're just not what I'm looking at. I'm hedging. I'm further hedging, because I see there's a lot more off with my perspective other than the inflation and around the world. So I'm looking at the people, for the people, by the people, right? Boom. For the people, by the people. Xogehome.net is where you can go to get a lot of the information for this. Xogehome.net. I hope you all have a mighty and powerful day.